The clock on your nightstand glows with the unforgiving numbers. 2:17 a.m. You turned off the lights hours ago, desperately seeking sleep. Yet here you are, wide awake, your mind racing like a hamster on a wheel. The presentation you have tomorrow, a difficult conversation you need to have, the ever-growing list of bills on the kitchen counter. Each thought a tiny spark, igniting a bonfire of anxiety in your chest. You feel a familiar tension in your shoulders and a tightness in your jaw. This is not the peaceful rest your body and brain need. It is a state of high alert, a silent battle in the quiet darkness of your bedroom. You try the usual tricks. You count sheep. You focus on your breathing. Each inhale seems to carry the weight of your to-do list. Your heart is beating just a little too fast. It feels as though a switch has been flipped inside you, one that refuses to turn off. The more you try to force sleep to come, the more it seems to slip through your fingers like sand, leaving you frustrated, exhausted, and even more wired than before. This experience is profoundly human and remarkably common. It is the unwelcome intersection of two powerful forces, stress and sleep. We often think of them as separate, a bad day at work, a bad night's sleep. But science reveals a much deeper, more intricate connection. They are not just neighbors, they are dance partners in a complex choreography of mind and body. Understanding this dance is the first step toward changing the steps, transforming this exhausting battle into a peaceful waltz toward restorative rest and a calmer, more resilient mind. The frustration mounts with each passing minute. You know you need to sleep. You know that tomorrow will be a struggle without it. This very knowledge becomes another log on the fire of your stress. So, what exactly is this powerful force we call stress? At its core, stress is your body's natural alarm system. It is a sophisticated set of physiological and psychological responses that evolved to help our ancestors survive immediate, life-threatening dangers. Imagine a prehistoric human encountering a saber-toothed tiger. In that split second, their body would need to prepare for intense physical action, either to fight the threat or to flee from it. This is the fight-or-flight response. It is a brilliant, life-saving mechanism designed for short, sharp bursts of danger, a system hardwired into our very DNA to protect us from harm. When this alarm is triggered, your brain's command center, the hypothalamus, springs into action. It sends signals down two major pathways. One is through the nervous system, activating the adrenal glands to release a surge of adrenaline. This is the hormone that makes your heart pound, your breathing quicken, and your senses sharpen. It gives you a jolt of energy and focus. Simultaneously, another pathway is activated, leading to the release of a different, more enduring stress hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is the manager of your body's stress response, keeping you on high alert for a longer period and mobilizing sugar into your bloodstream for quick energy. This ancient system is incredibly effective for its original purpose. The surge of adrenaline and cortisol would have given our ancestors the speed and strength to escape the tiger. Once the danger passed, the hormone levels would return to normal, and the body would shift back into a state of rest and recovery. The problem in our modern world is that our brains don't differentiate between a saber-toothed tiger and a looming work deadline, a traffic jam, a heated argument. Our stress response system is being triggered constantly, not by short-lived physical threats, but by prolonged psychological pressures that don't have a clear beginning or end. As a result, many of us are living in a state of chronic, low-grade activation. Our bodies are perpetually simmering with stress hormones. That tightness in your shoulders, the racing heart before a public speech, the churning in your stomach during a conflict, these are all modern manifestations of that ancient survival response. Let's see how this vicious cycle plays out in a typical real-world scenario. So imagine Sarah, a project manager facing a tight deadline at work. The pressure is immense. She's working late, her mind buzzing with project details and potential problems. She finally gets into bed, but her brain refuses to switch off. High cortisol from the day keeps her tossing and turning. Instead of restorative sleep, she gets only a few hours of light, fragmented rest, waking several times, jolted by anxiety about unfinished work. The next morning, she wakes groggy and unrefreshed. Her sleep-deprived brain is on high alert. Her amygdala is hyperreactive, her prefrontal cortex basically offline. Getting ready, she snaps at her partner over a minor issue. During her commute, traffic feels infuriating. At the office, she struggles to focus. Her creativity is gone, problem-solving is diminished. A small critical comment from her boss feels like a personal attack, sending a fresh wave of stress and anxiety. Overwhelmed, she decides to work even later, sacrificing evening relaxation. she grabs another late afternoon coffee to power through, further disrupting her body's sleep signals. That night, she crawls into bed physically exhausted but mentally wired. Her mind worries about the deadline, replays the tense conversation with her boss, and feels guilty about snapping at her partner. The day's stress, amplified by lack of sleep, makes falling asleep even harder. Breaking this cycle requires a two-pronged attack: reducing the stress that disrupts sleep, improving the sleep that helps manage stress. Let's first focus on taming the stress beast during your waking hours. Mindfulness meditation is one of the most powerful tools science has given us. Not about emptying your mind, but learning to observe thoughts and feelings without judgment. 10 to 15 minutes a day can calm your overactive sympathetic nervous system, reduce cortisol levels, and weaken hyperactivity in the amygdala. It trains your brain to step back from the worry loop, creating a portable space of calm for your day. Schedule worry time. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's remarkably effective. Set aside a specific 15-minute period earlier in the day, perhaps late afternoon. Sit with a pen and paper and write down everything you're worried about. For each worry, jot one small, actionable step you can actually take. Externalizing anxieties and planning prevents them from ambushing you at night. You're telling your brain, "Thanks, it's scheduled. We'll deal with it tomorrow at 4 p.m. Regular physical activity is non-negotiable. Exercise is a natural, potent anti-anxiety treatment. It burns off excess adrenaline and cortisol and boosts mood-elevating endorphins. A brisk walk, a jog, a yoga session, or a bike ride can act as a physiological release valve for pent-up tension. The key is consistency. Aim for at least 30 minutes most days, but finish workouts 2 to 3 hours before bedtime so your body can cool down and heart rate can drop, which helps you fall asleep. Finally, don't underestimate social connection and nature. Spending quality time with loved ones and sharing feelings triggers oxytocin, which counters cortisol and promotes safety and calm. And just 20 minutes in a natural setting, park, forest, or garden, significantly lowers stress hormones. These are not indulgences, they're biological necessities for a regulated nervous system and restful mind. Once you have started to manage your daytime stress, the next step is to actively cultivate the conditions for good sleep. The most important principle is regularity. Go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This consistency anchors your sleep-wake cycle and makes it easier for your brain to predict sleep and alertness. It is the single most effective piece of advice for improving sleep. Your bedroom environment plays a huge role. The 3 key ingredients for a perfect sleep sanctuary are: keep it cool, keep it dark, keep it quiet. Around 18 degrees Celsius or 65 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. Use blackout curtains or an eye mask to block out all light. Use earplugs or a white noise machine to mask sudden noises. Your bedroom should be for sleep and intimacy only, not for work or scrolling on your phone. Create a relaxing wind-down routine. For the last hour before bed, disconnect from all screens. The blue light from phones and tablets suppresses melatonin. Read a real book, not on a screen. Take a warm bath or shower. Listen to calm music. Do gentle stretching. This routine signals to your brain that the day is over and sleep is approaching. Lastly, be mindful of what you consume before bed. Avoid caffeine after midday. Avoid alcohol. It fragments REM sleep. Avoid large meals or sugary snacks close to bedtime. If hungry, choose a light snack like a banana or a small bowl of oatmeal. The journey to breaking the vicious cycle of stress and sleeplessness can feel daunting. The sheer amount of advice can seem overwhelming, and you might feel pressured to implement every single change all at once. However, the secret to lasting success lies not in a radical overhaul, but in the gentle and consistent application of small, manageable changes. Think of it not as climbing a sheer cliff face, but as taking one steady step after another up a long, winding staircase. Each small step you take builds momentum and makes the next one easier. Start by choosing just 1 or 2 strategies that feel most achievable for you right now. Perhaps it's deciding to put your phone away 30 minutes before bed instead of the full hour. Or maybe it's committing to a 10-minute walk during your lunch break each day. You don't need to start with a full hour of meditation. Begin with just 3 minutes of focusing on your breath. The goal is not perfection, but progress. Once that small habit becomes second nature, you can then build upon it, adding another small change to your routine. This incremental approach prevents you from feeling overwhelmed and increases the likelihood of long-term success. It's also crucial to practice self-compassion during this process. There will be nights when you still struggle to sleep, and days when stress gets the better of you. despite your best efforts. Do not let one bad night derail your efforts. Instead of seeing it as a failure, view it as a data point. Did you have extra caffeine? Did you skip your evening wind-down routine? This gentle curiosity, rather than harsh self-criticism, will help you learn and adjust your approach without adding the extra stress of perceived failure into the mix. Remember that you are fundamentally rewiring deep-seated patterns in your brain and body. This process takes time and patience. Celebrate the small victories along the way. Did you manage to fall asleep 15 minutes faster than usual? Did you feel a little less irritable after your morning walk? Each tiny improvement is evidence that your new habits are working. These small wins reinforce the new, healthier cycle where better sleep gives you more resilience to handle stress, and better stress management paves the way for deeper, more restorative sleep. Your sleep is not a luxury, it is a biological necessity, a non-negotiable foundation for your physical health, mental well-being. For too long, we treated sleep as an inconvenience, shortchanged for productivity, or as a passive state of nothingness. Science has shown the truth. Sleep is our life support system. It's when our bodies heal, our minds are recalibrated, emotional resilience is restored,